Okay, good morning everyone. Let's begin with Accounting Standard 20. So quickly come to Accounting Standard 20. There are some questions which are still to be done in Accounting Standard 20. Okay, before I begin, just quickly confirm with me. Are you clearly able to hear me? Are you all clearly able to hear me? Okay, perfect then. Come to Accounting Standard 20, which says earnings per share. One of the most important accounting standards that you have in your syllabus is earnings per share. Accounting Standard 20, which is given on page 151. So come to page 151. We have already done some of the standards of this accounting standard. We have done a lot of questions already. However, I will begin again with the first sentence, explain everything again to you. We will revise the entire standard, and then I have a list given by you all pertaining to the pending standards of AS20. So we will be doing that. However, what I would request is, if you feel that there is any more question that you want me to repeat, or if there is any question that you do not understand and you want me to do it again, please let me know and I will do that. Right, so come to Accounting Standard 20, earnings per share. Before we go to the questions, or before we go to the concept, let me first explain to you why Accounting Standard 20 was introduced. So as I have discussed earlier, say for example, there is one company which says we have a profit of 5 crores. So suppose there is a company that says we have a profit of 5 crores. And the company says that we have a profit of 5 crores, please invest in our company. Will you only looking at the profit of 5 crores invest? Yes or no? Will you only look at कि नहीं इनको 5 crores का profit है? Will you directly invest? No, you will not invest. Apart from a lot of other things that you will see, this time you would want to understand कि 5 crore तो आपका profit है, उसमें से आप आपके इन्वेस्टर्स को क्या रिटर्न दोगे. सो यू विल वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि 5 करोड़ तो आपका प्रॉफिट है, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग. जो 5 करोड़ का आपका प्रॉफिट है, उसमें से आप हमको कितना मिलेगा, what is the kind of return that you are going to give us. That return that you are going to give us will decide whether I will invest with you or not. So that is really the important question that you will ask, that what is the kind of return that you will give. Now that return is calculated in the form of EPS, known as earnings per share. Are you getting it? So earnings per share will tell me कि मेरे एक शेयर पे मुझे कितना रिटर्न मिलने वाला है इस कंपनी से. That is the meaning of EPS, earnings per share. Are you getting it? See, that is what they have given, and that is how it begins. Earnings, an enterprise is required to report earnings per share as well as diluted earnings per share on the face of the profit and loss account. So every company has to report the earnings per share as well as the diluted earnings per share, where important underline on the face of the profit and loss account. तो profit and loss account में आपको इसको disclose करना है. EPS should be reported whether positive or negative. So if you have a profit, it will be a positive EPS. If you have a loss, then it will result in negative EPS. Previous year EPS should also be reported for comparison. So last year EPS we will also have to report in order to make a proper comparison. How do you calculate basic EPS? Then we begin with this, the first one, basic EPS. Basic EPS means profit to equity shareholders divided by VANES. Very important, underline VANES. VANES means weighted average number of equity shares. So this is your formula to calculate the basic EPS. Right, so if I want to quickly revise whatever we have done, an enterprise must report EPS on the face of the profit and loss account. There are two types of EPS. One is diluted EPS and the other is a basic EPS. EPS should be reported whether it is positive or negative. So if it's a loss, you will have negative EPS, which also should be recorded. So the investor must understand कि मेरे एक शेयर पे कितना मुझे लॉस हुआ है. Previous year EPS you should also report so that you can compare whether we are growing or whether we are going down. So previous year EPS also needs to be reported. Then we begin with one of the two types of EPS, that is basic earnings per share. So what's your basic EPS? It is profit to equity shareholders divided by weighted average number of equity shares. That is your WANES. Then you have some key points. These key points pertain to this formula. How will you calculate the values in the formula using the key points? It says calculation of profit to equity shareholders. How will you calculate profit to equity shareholders? It says preference dividend if non-cumulative. Very important, underline non-cumulative. Preference dividend if non-cumulative should be deducted if mentioned in the question. Very important. Now let's first quickly revise cumulative and non-cumulative dividend, which you've already studied at, I guess, at the 11th standard. Cumulative and non-cumulative. Okay, what is the meaning of cumulative? Cumulative means if by any chance I am not able to pay any dividend in the financial year 18-19, then in the year 19-20, whenever I will have funds, I will pay dividend for 19-20 and 18-19 as well of the previous year. This is known as cumulative dividend. अगर किसी साल में पैसे नहीं होने की वजह से आप डिविडेंड नहीं पे कर पा रहे, तो आने वाले कोई भी साल में जब भी आपके पास फंड्स है और आप डिविडेंड पे कर रहे हैं, आप उस साल का तो डिविडेंड पे करेंगे ही, पर आप पिछले साल का भी डिविडेंड पे करेंगे जो आप तब नहीं पे कर पाए थे. दैट इज नोन एज क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड. So cumulative preference dividend means whatever year you missed, you will still have to pay dividend in the following years. However, in non-cumulative dividend, if I miss to pay dividend in any financial year, then that year is gone. You forget about it. In the next financial year, I am not going to pay for the previous year. That is known as non-cumulative preference dividend. Right? I hope you're clear with that. So preference dividend, if non-cumulative, needs to be deducted only if, very important underline, mentioned in the question. So if it is mentioned in the question कि ये नॉन क्यूमुलेटिव है लेकिन आप डिडक्ट करो, तो ही हमें डिडक्ट करना है, क्योंकि नॉन क्यूमुलेटिव में गारंटी नहीं है कि अगले साल हम आने वाले साल में हम पिछले साल का डिविडेंड पे करेंगे या नहीं. देयर इज नो गारंटी अबाउट इट. So that is why only if the question tells you to deduct, only and only then you will deduct. However, come to the next one, preference dividend if cumulative, which means कोई भी साल हो पिछले साल का पे करना ही पड़ेगा अगर नहीं पे किया तो. Preference dividend if cumulative should be provided means should be deducted whether mentioned or not. Now please understand the logic. If it is cumulative dividend में हमको पे करना ही करना है उस साल का भी जब हम नहीं पे कर पाए, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड है, हर साल का पे करना ही है. अगर इस साल नहीं पे कर पाए तो आने वाले साल भी पे करना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड है. Accounting Standard 20 tells you that you consider it and deduct it immediately. Do not wait for the question to tell you whether we should deduct or not. What you will do is you will deduct that immediately. Are you getting it? Okay. And then you have preference dividend if preference dividend if it is non cumulative. आपको पता है कि जब नहीं पे कर पाए तो नहीं पे करना है उस साल का. That means you will deduct only if mentioned in the question. Are you getting it? Then you have dividend distribution tax should be deducted from the profit and loss account. So dividend distribution tax is a tax that the company has to pay on dividend that it pays. So when you study income tax, you will be explained that when a domestic company pays dividend to its equity shareholders, for the equity shareholders, it is an income. So technically it should be taxed in the hands of the equity shareholders who are getting dividend. But the income tax department ruled out a provision that if a domestic company is paying dividend to its shareholders, then for the shareholders this income is exempt from tax. उनको उस dividend पे tax पे नहीं करना. In fact, जो company dividend को distribute कर रहा है, वो company क्या करेगी? Dividend distribution tax government को pay करेगी. Now, what you have to understand over here is that I have to pay dividend distribution tax because I am distributing dividend. So it is again a cost relating to giving out dividend to the equity shareholders. So dividend distribution tax is also an expense pertaining to dividend, and that is why dividend distribution tax should also be deducted. Are you getting it? Quickly on the chat box, are you all clear till here? I'm purposefully going slow because it's a long, it was long time back when we did this standard. So quickly on the chat box, are you all understanding? Are you all clear with this? Are you all clear with this? Okay, perfect. Let's proceed then. Extraordinary items. Now, what is extraordinary items? Anything apart from our routine business activities is an extraordinary item. For example, sale of asset. Then you have loss by fire, loss by floods, loss by earthquake. All these are extraordinary items. Let's see how do we treat extraordinary items while we calculate the earnings per share. Extraordinary items must be deducted while calculating earnings per share. However, if the enterprise wants to disclose EPS excluding, very important underline, excluding EPS, excluding extraordinary items, it may do so voluntarily. So accounting standard 20 tells you, please understand, कि अगर आपको EPS आप सबसे पहले तो आपको एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी आइटम हर बार एडजस्ट करके ही EPS ढूंढना है. मतलब आपके EPS में एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी आइटम्स की इफेक्ट होनी चाहिए. पर मान लो आपको ऐसा लगता है नहीं नहीं मुझे तो एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी आइटम्स नहीं दिखानी, तो वो आप एक्स्ट्रा डिस्क्लोजर कर सकते हो वॉलंटरीली. आपकी मर्जी है तो एक्स्ट्रा डिस्क्लोज करो. Which means if you go for that option, you have to do two things. One, extraordinary items with EPS तो दिखाना ही है, और जो आप अपनी मर्जी से करना चाहते हो एक EPS विदाउट एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी आइटम्स वो आपको अलग से एडिशनल वॉलंटरीली डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ेगा. मैंडेटरी क्या है? Extraordinary item should be given effect of when you calculate the earnings per share. So suppose if you have, and suppose let's take this profit. Suppose my profit to equity shareholders is 1 lakh. I have extraordinary loss of 10,000. So one mandatory I am writing over here. Mandatory I must deduct and have my earnings per my profit to equity shareholders to be 90,000. Over here I can skip and continue having 1 lakh. Now this is voluntarily. This is voluntary, the other one is mandatory. Say for example your veins is 1000. Quickly on the chat box, what will be your EPS for the mandatory requirement and what will be your EPS for the voluntary requirement? Quickly on the chat box, what will be your EPS for mandatory? 90, and over here is 100. Okay, now quickly on the chat box, can I only disclose mandatory? Is that okay? Yes or no? Can I only disclose the mandatory part? Can I avoid the voluntary part? Yes. Can I disclose both? Second question to you is, can I disclose both? Okay, perfect. Can I disclose only voluntary disclosures? Can I have only voluntary disclosures? Aman Rajput, can I have only voluntary disclosures? Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead then. Last point, equity dividend, transfer to reserves, etc. are appropriations of profit. Very important. They are not a charge against the profit. They are appropriations of profit and hence should not be deducted from the profit. So we should not be deducting that from the profit because they are appropriations of profit. Okay, let's understand the meaning of charge against profit and appropriation from profit. Okay, understand this carefully. For example, if I get a salary 1 lakh and my employer says that we give you some extra benefits in the company. For example, we provide you lunch, we provide you breakfast, we provide you amenities, we provide you a good infrastructure, we provide you gaming zone. For that, you need to pay 2000 rupees. I said, okay. When I come back home, my wife says that out of 1 lakh, 50,000 is my share. You have to give me 50,000. I said, okay, you take 50,000. Now let's understand this technically and conceptually. Technically, my question to you is that suppose if I get 1 lakh salary, from that 1 lakh salary at the job place where I'm working, they are charging me 2,000 rupees. What is the net salary that I get according to you? What is the net salary that I get according to you? 98,000. क्योंकि 2 लाख तो कंपनी अपने पास रख रही है. So I have 98,000. Now I cannot tell the company, or if someone asks me कि आपकी salary कितनी है, I cannot say 48,000. He will ask me how 48,000. I'll tell him 1 lakh minus 2,000 minus 50,000. That is wrong. 50,000 तो कंपनी से मैं निकल के घर आया, वो मेरे घर का मैटर है. It is something not directly related to my profit and loss account. 50,000 over here is known as appropriation of profit. मैं कैसे अपना 98,000 का रेवेन्यू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करता हूँ, अप्रोप्रिएट करता हूँ, यूज करता हूँ, बांटता हूँ. That is 50,000 is a part of that. 2,000 of course is a charge against the profit, is the charge to the profit and loss account. So any charge to the profit and loss account is okay, can be deducted. But appropriation is after you earn the profit, after you get your profit, after you decide your profit. That is when you decide कितना हम जनरल रिजर्व में डालेंगे, कितना हम इक्विटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे, कितना हम कोई और रिजर्व में ट्रांसफर करेंगे. That completely is known as appropriation of profit. And because it is appropriation of profit, we will not be deducting that from the profit and loss account when we calculate the profit to equity shareholders. Are you all clear with this? Quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this? This brings you to the end of the first part of Accounting Standard 20. So quickly put it on the chat box. Are you all clear with this? I'm waiting for your replies. Then we will proceed to the next part. Okay, so if you're clear with this, let's try and quickly understand question number 1 so that you can easily revise. How do we calculate the weighted average number of equity shares? Now we've already done this question, so but let's quickly revise because calculation of weights will be important for the remaining questions that we have to do. So if you look at the question, it says on 1st January, balance at the beginning of the year, we had 1800 shares. On 31st May, we issued shares, means our number of shares increased by 600. On 1st November, I bought back some shares at 300. So my total balance comes to 2100. What do I have to do? Calculate weighted number of shares. Now you all will have to be very careful to ask yourself that whether this is a calendar year or is it a financial year. So quickly on the chat box, what do you think? Is this calendar year or financial year? This is of course calendar year because your year begins on 1st of January. So because your year begins on 1st of January, you will obviously consider it to be a calendar year. Okay, so let's begin. Let me solve it for you. You understand what I'm doing? I think you have already taken down this solution, so it's okay if you don't copy it again, but just understand the solution. Your first statement will be, as per accounting standard 20, earnings per share, calculation of veins. So you have the date, particulars, time weight, it will be number of shares, time weight, and weighted product. So this is how your format will look like. It's a small question, so you will need a small format for it. No need to prepare a very big format. Okay, let's begin. Your first date, if you look at the question, your first date is 1st January. On 1st January, you had opening balance of how much? 1800. You have 1800. Then on 31st May, you issued shares, and on 1st November, you again have buyback 600 and 300. Now please understand, you have opening balance of 1800. Can you all tell me on the chat box, these 1800 shares remained in your business for how much time, for how many months? These 1800 shares remained in your business for how many months? 12 months? Dipesh, how do you get 4 months? It remained in your business for 12 months. So we will take 12 by 12. It remained in the business for 12 months. So it will be 1800 into 12 divided by 12. How much will you get? 1800. When you issue shares on 31st of May, it remains in the business for how many months this year? June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. It remains in the business for 7 months. You have 600 into 7 by 12. How much do you get? 600 into 7 divided by 12, you get 350. So you have over here 350. And finally, you buy back in the month of November. So how many months before the end of the year you have bought back? 2 months. So you have 2 months over here. 300 into 2 divided by 12. How much do you get? 50. But 50 we will have to deduct because it is buyback. So I will deduct 50. Finally, you get Vains. What's your Vains in the question? In this, you get 2100. 1850 plus 350 minus 50. You get 2150. No, I'm sorry. It is 1800 plus 350 minus 50. You get 2100. So this is how you will calculate Vains in every question that you have. Are you clear with this? Quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this? Are you all clear with this? Okay. Now I am putting on the chat box the questions which we are yet to do. So I have received that from a couple of you. Just let me confirm so that we can begin with solving those questions. So I'm putting a list of the questions that are still to be done in this accounting standard. Okay, so we are left to do AS7, AS9, 11, 13, 15, 19 and 20. Am I right? These are the questions which are left to be done. Please quickly confirm so that we can begin solving the questions. Okay, so question 18 is still left. 19, I guess we have already done. Okay, I'm sorry. 18 is left and 19 we have done. Fine, okay. So let's begin. I will rectify that to 18. Okay, so let's begin solving question number 11. Let's do question 11. Come to page number 160. Let's solve question 11. Yes, I will explain to you diluted EPS, of course, when we revise the entire standard. As of now, let's come to question 11. Question 11. Okay, let's begin with question 11. It is on page number 161. It says compute basic EPS from the following information. On 1st April 2008, we had opening balance of 1500. On 1st August 2008, we issued shares 600. And on 31st March, we bought back 500 shares. Net profit for the year 31st March 2009 is how much? 2,75,000. Karna kya hai? Calculate basic EPS. It's a very simple question. So let's solve it. Put your first statement. As per accounting standard 20, earnings per share, calculation of basic EPS. Let's first put our formula. Basic EPS is equal to profit to equity shareholders divided by Vains. Profit to equity shareholders divided by Vains. Your profit to equity shareholders is 2,75,000, which is already given in the question. That we will divide by the weighted average number of equity shares, which we will get from working note 1. Let's prepare working note 1. Calculation of Vains. On 1st April, you have opening balance 1500. On 1st August, you have issue of shares 600. And on 31st March, you have buyback of how much? 500. Let's understand this. 1500 shares were there on 1st April as the opening balance. Quickly on the chat box, calendar year or financial year? Quickly on the chat box, is it calendar year or financial year? Okay, everyone agrees it is financial year. So this 1500 shares remains in the business for how many months? This 1500 number of shares remains in the business for how many months? 12 months. It remains in the business for 12 months. So you get 1500 into 12 by 12. Okay, this issue of shares, which was there on 1st August, this remains in the business for how many months? This, which we took on 1st August, remains in the business for how many months? So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. Dipesh, it remains in the business for 8 months. So you have 600 into 8 divided by 12. 600 into 8 divide by 12. You get 400. 400. Now, when did you buy back? You bought back on 31st March. How many months before did you buy back? How many months before did you buy back? 0 months. So this will be 0 months. So your weighted average number of equity shares comes to 1900. So you have 2,75,000 divided by 1900. Your EPS will be 144.74. $144.74. Right. Just give me a minute. I'll put this on your official WhatsApp group so that you can copy it properly. Just give me a minute for that. Okay, you have it over there. Take it down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. You have it over there on your WhatsApp group. Please copy it down properly. If you have any doubts, please do not copy, ask me. I will explain it properly to you. Take it down properly. Once you're done, just put done on the chat box so that I can go to the next question. Are you all clear with this? Are you all clear with this? Yes or no? Quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this? Okay. Come to question 13. Question 13. On page number 162. Question 13 on page 162. It says from the following information relating to Y Limited, करना क्या है? Calculate earnings per share. So we have to calculate earnings per share. Profit before VRS payments, very important, but after depreciation is how much? 75. After that, you have been given depreciation of 10, VRS payments 32.1, provision for tax 10, fringe benefit tax is also a kind of tax is 5, and paid up equity share capital shares of rupees 10 each fully paid up is how much? 93 crores. What do you have to do? Calculate earnings per share. My first question to you is, does this 75 include the treatment of depreciation? Means in this 75, have we already treated depreciation? Yes or no? Okay. So what should I do with this 10? With this 10 that I have, what should I do? This 10, I must of course ignore. We will have no effect of this 10. Okay, it's a simple question. Let's start solving it. Put your first statement. As per accounting standard 20, earnings per share. This time you will need two working notes. Working note 1 and working note 2. Calculation of profit to equity shareholders. Okay, let's begin. You have profit before VRS, but after depreciation, so profit 75. Your values are in crores, so rupees in crores. From that, you have depreciation, which will have no impact. Should we deduct the VRS? What about the VRS? Should we deduct? Yes or no? Of course, VRS payments are yet not deducted, so we will deduct that. You get 32.10. You have next provision for tax, which is 10. Fringe benefit tax, which is 5. You will get at the end profit to equity shareholders. 75 minus 32.1 minus 10 minus 5. You get 27.9. Okay, I have one doubt which says, what does VRS payments mean? So VRS means voluntary retirement scheme. So suppose if you prematurely leave the company, prematurely means before your retirement, if you leave the company voluntarily, that I do not want to work anymore, then the company gives you some compensation for the future salary that you could have received, and a lot of other benefits are given to the employee. This phenomenon is known as VRS, voluntary retirement scheme payments. Right, so it is basically an expenditure for the company. Then you have working note 2, calculation of vains. Calculation of vains. Your paid up share capital is how much? 93 crores. Value of one share is how much in the question? 10. Can you tell me the total number of shares in this question? The total number of shares are not given in the question. We have to find that. So this is how you will find out. Your vains will be 93 divided by 10. You get how much? 9.3. 9.3. $27.9 divided by 9.3. How much EPS do you get? 3. You get your EPS as 3. Are you all clear with this? you all clear with this? You have the entire solution on your WhatsApp group. You may take it from there. You also have it over here. You can take it down from here as well. Take it down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Take it down properly. Once you're done, please put done on the chat box. Once you're done, please put done on the chat box. Then we go to question number 9. Okay, I have one doubt which says what is the meaning of fringe benefit tax? Okay. Now, fringe benefit tax was a tax that was introduced long back by P. Chidambaram. When P. Chidambaram was the finance minister, he took this tax from the Australian tax system and introduced that in India. What used to happen in fringe benefit tax is that when, uh, when say for example, an employer is giving some benefits to the employee other than salary. So, say for example, he gives the employee a car which he can use for office and personal uses. He gives an employee any kind of perquisite apart from salary, then that was known as a fringe benefit. And because that fringe benefit had the potential to reduce your profit, द गवर्नमेंट डिसाइडेड कि जो भी फ्रिंज बेनिफिट, जो भी सैलरी के ऊपर एक्स्ट्रा बेनिफिट आप दे रहे हो, उस पे 30% टैक्स कंपनी को, गवर्नमेंट को पे करना पड़ता था. That is known as fringe benefit tax. So now fringe benefit tax was then abolished by uh, Pranav Mukherjee, who was the then finance minister. So P. Chidambaram introduced it. Pranav Mukherjee abolished fringe benefit tax. You do not have fringe benefit tax. Now you have something known as perquisites, which is, now these perquisites are actually a part of section 17(2) of the Income Tax Act. So section 17(2) of the Income Tax Act now covers perquisites which were earlier covered by the fringe benefit tax. So all you have to understand is fringe benefit tax is a kind of tax which needs to be deducted. Right? I hope Shifa and Akshay, that is now clear to you. I hope Shifa and Akshay, that is now clear to you. Okay. Let's go to question number 9. Let's do question number 9. Question 9 on page 159. Question 9 on page 159. It says in April 2010, A Limited issued 18 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. Very important, rupees 5 per share was called up on that date and was paid by all the shareholders. तो कितने shares इशू किए हमने? 18 lakhs. एक शेयर की कीमत 10 रुपए. हमको लोगों ने कितने पे किए? 5 रुपए ही पे किए. Okay. The remaining 5 rupees was called up on 1/9/2010. All the shareholders except one holding 3,60,000 shares paid the sum in September 2010. तो सब लोगों ने 5 रुपए दिए, सिर्फ ये 3,60,000 शेयर होल्डर्स ने पैसे नहीं दिए. The net profit for the year ended 31st March 2011 is 33 lakhs after dividend on preference dividend and after dividend distribution tax of 6.6 lakhs. So quickly on the chat box, do I need to deduct anything? Do I need to deduct anything from 33 lakhs? Quickly on the chat box, do I need to deduct anything from 33 lakhs? Of course not. No need to deduct anything from 33 lakhs. Okay. करना क्या है क्वेश्चन में? Compute basic EPS for the year ended 31st March 2011. Okay, let's solve this question. Computation of basic EPS. Computation of basic EPS. You have profit to equity shareholders 33 lakhs, which is already given in the question. Vains we will have to find out. So let's solve that. In this question, Vains is a typical calculation that you have to do. Apart from that, there is nothing big or nothing substantial in the question. So on 1st April, you issued shares. How much? 18 lakhs. So you will not take 18 lakhs. You will think in this way that 18 lakhs is for 10 rupees. If I have 5, how will we calculate? So 18 lakhs is when you have 10 rupees. पर हमको तो कितना receive हुआ? 5 rupees. So how much for 5? How much do you get? 9 lakhs? 9 lakhs. This will remain in the business for 12 months. So you will have you will have 9 lakhs. On 1st September 2010, we called up rupees 5 again. We called up rupees 5 per share, which means we told 18 lakh people to pay 5 rupees. However, from that, 3,60,000 people did not, shareholders worth 3,60,000 shares did not pay. So how much do you get? 14,40,000 to 14,40,000 people. We asked them for 5 rupees per share. How do you get 14,40,000? 18 lakh minus 3,60,000. 14,40,000. This is how you get 14,40,000. 14,40,000 into 5 divided by 10 comes to 7,20,000. So you have 7,20,000. For how much time will this remain in the business? So you have September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. So this will remain for 7 months. You get 4,20,000, 7,20,000 into 7,20,000 into 7 divided by 12. So finally, your gains will be 9 lakh plus 4 lakh 20,000, which is 13 lakh 20,000. Right, this is the typical part that you will have to be very careful with. So 18 lakh minus 3 lakh 60,000 comes to 14 lakh 40,000. Again, you will think in this very similar manner that 14 lakh 40,000 will be there only when you have 10 rupees, but we are calling how much? 5 rupees. So how much? Then again you will cross multiply. You will get 7 lakh 20,000. This remains in the business from 1st September. So this remains in the business for 7 months. So ultimately your weighted product over here will be 4 lakh 20,000, which comes to 13 lakh 20,000. So 33 lakhs divided by 13 lakh 20,000. You get how much? 2.5. Your EPS will be 2.5. 2.5. Quickly on the chat box, are you clear with this? So Spruva, basically what you are saying, exactly same thing I have done. If you look at the solution, you are saying that we should take 9 lakhs. So I have of course taken 9 lakhs. Okay, perfect. Are you all clear with this? If you are, please take it down properly. For your ease, I'll put it on your WhatsApp group. You have your solution on the WhatsApp group. Please take it down properly from there. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Take it down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Don't simply copy. You are not here to copy. So if you don't understand, please ask me. Once you're done, please put done on the chat box so that we can go to the next question. Okay, if you're done with this, and if you all are clear with this, let's go to question number 15. Come to question number 15. Mark that very important question. That's a very good question to understand. It's a past exam question as well. Question number 15, important last day revision question. This question is on page number 163. Question number 15 on page number 163. Okay, very interesting question, very good question to understand. Please pay attention. Again, allow me to solve it properly, and then I will give you more than sufficient time to copy. But first, please focus and understand. We are doing question number 15 on page number 163. It says that XYZ Limited had issued 30,000 15% convertible debentures of rupees 100 each on 1st April 2008. क्या हमने इशू किया है? कन्वर्टेबल डिबेंचर्स. एक की वैल्यू कितनी है? 100 रुपीज. ऐसे कितने कन्वर्टेबल डिबेंचर्स इशू किए हैं? 30,000 convertible debentures. The debentures are due for redemption on 1st March 2011. The terms of issue of debentures provided that they will be redeemable at a premium of 105. मतलब आज आप मुझे 100 रुपए दो, मैं आपको जब भी रिडीम करूंगा in 2011, that time I will give you 105, क्योंकि 5 रुपए प्रीमियम चल रहा है. तो मैंने आपको वादा किया है 5 रुपए प्रीमियम दूंगा, मतलब आप मुझे 100 रुपए दो, मैं 2011 1st March 2011 आई विल पे यू 105, and also conferred an option to the debenture holders to convert 20% of their holding into equity shares, nominal value of rupees 10 at a price of 15 rupees. मतलब सबसे पहले let's understand the question till now, then we proceed to the next part. एक कंपनी ने 30,000 डिबेंचर्स इशू किए, कन्वर्टेबल डिबेंचर्स, 100 रुपए एक की वैल्यू थी और 15% इंटरेस्ट पोर्शन था। ये डिबेंचर्स रिडीम कब होने वाले थे? 2011 में, और टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस ऐसी थी कि हमें रिडम्पशन 5% पे करना है, सो वी विल बी एबल टू रिडीम एट 5%। सो आज हम आपसे 100 रुपए ले रहे हैं, जब हम रिडीम करेंगे तो आपको 105 रुपए देंगे, और उसके साथ एक और आपको चॉइस, एक और ऑप्शन दिया गया है। वो ऑप्शन क्या है कि आप 20% ऑफ द शेयर्स कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू इक्विटी शेयर्स। तब उसकी वैल्यू 10 थी, पर हमने कितने में दिया? 15 रुपीज में दिया। डिबेंचर होल्डर्स होल्डिंग 2500 डिबेंचर्स डिड नॉट एक्सरसाइज द ऑप्शन। सो 30,000 में से 2500 लोगों ने कहा कि हमको आपके ये कन्वर्जन के ऑप्शन में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, हमको तो आप 105 रुपए पर शेयर के हिसाब से कैश वापस दे दो। करना क्या है क्वेश्चन में? कैलकुलेट द नंबर ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर्स टू बी अलॉटेड टू द डिबेंचर होल्डर्स, very important, who are exercising the option to the maximum। जिन लोगों ने ऑप्शन एक्सरसाइज किया है उनको आप कितने इक्विटी शेयर्स दोगे, ये आपसे क्वेश्चन में पूछा है। Now if you understand this entire question, EPS has got to do nothing with this. It is not a question of calculating EPS, it is a question of calculating how many number of equity shares will you give to the members who are exercising the option of 20% conversion of their convertible debentures into equity shareholders at the date of redemption. Are you getting it? It is typically not a question of EPS, but it has calculations pertaining to calculating the number of equity shares to be allotted to debenture holders who are exercising the option. Right, again I am repeating the question for you. ध्यान देना, एक कंपनी ने 30,000 कन्वर्टेबल डिबेंचर्स इशू किए, 15% उस पे इंटरेस्ट रेट था और 100 रुपीज एक शेयर की कीमत थी। ये सब कब हुआ? 1 अप्रैल 2008 को। ये सारे शेयर्स हम रिडीम मतलब रीपे करने वाले थे डिबेंचर होल्डर्स को कब? 1 मार्च 2011 में, और हम ही ने उनको वादा किया कि आज 1/4/2008 को आप हमें 100 रुपए दो, और 1 मार्च 2011 को हम आपको 5% प्रीमियम के हिसाब से 105 रुपए लौटाएंगे। और हम आपको एक ऑप्शन भी देते हैं, आप अपने जितने भी शेयर्स आपके पास है उसका 20% आप इक्विटी शेयर्स में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो। मतलब आप पैसे लेके वापस मत चले जाओ, आप हमारी कंपनी के साथ एसोसिएटेड रहो, नॉट एज डिबेंचर होल्डर्स बट एज इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स। मतलब मान लीजिए किसी के पास 10 शेयर है तो उसके 2 शेयर हम इक्विटी में, सॉरी, मान लीजिए किसी के पास 10 डिबेंचर है तो उसके 2 डिबेंचर हम इक्विटी में कन्वर्ट करके देंगे। मान लीजिए किसी के पास 100 शेयर है, 100 डिबेंचर्स हैं तो उसके 20 डिबेंचर हम इक्विटी में कन्वर्ट करके देंगे। मान लीजिए किसी के पास 20 डिबेंचर है तो उसके 4 डिबेंचर हम इक्विटी में कन्वर्ट करके देंगे। ऐसे मैक्सिमम कितना है? 20% आप कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो। क्वेश्चन में ये भी कहा है कि 30,000 डिबेंचर होल्डर्स में से 2500 डिबेंचर होल्डर्स स्ट्रेट अवे डिनाइड कि हमको आपके ऑप्शन में कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं। ये सब बातें ध्यान में रख के हमको क्या करना है? Calculate the number of equity shares to be allotted to the debenture holders. Right. Let's see how we can solve this. So we will first put our first statement. As per accounting standard 20, earnings per share. Calculation of number of shares to be issued to debenture holders. Number of shares to be issued to debenture holders. You have particulars number of debentures. Okay. Help me with the answers on the chat box quickly. What are the total number of debentures in the question? What are your total number of debentures in the question? $30,000. So I'm putting over here 30,000. Okay. From 30,000, how many people simply denied to me that we are not interested in the option? 2,500. So number of debenture holders not exercising the option is how much? Mine 2,500. What are you left out with? 27,500. Can I say these are debenture holders exercising the option? Yes or no? Are you clear with this? They have asked us that how many number of shares will you give to people who are exercising the option. So we have to first find out कितने लोग option exercise कर रहे हैं. That is why I have to deduct 2,500 and I get sorry, I get 27,500 because it is important to understand how many people are exercising the option. Okay, now my next question to you is, ये तो पता चल गया कितने लोग option exercise करते हैं, but one person can at the most have how many number of equity shares? What percentage is the conversion that is allowed? 20%? Your conversion that is allowed is 20%. So option for conversion is 20%. So number of debentures eligible for conversion will be how much? 27500 into 20%. You get 5,500. 5,500 are eligible for conversion. Okay, now pay attention. This is the most important part. Quickly on the chat box, please tell me, एक डिबेंचर होल्डर को रिडम्पशन पे कितना पैसा हमें देना है पर डिबेंचर? एक डिबेंचर होल्डर को हमें रिडम्पशन पे कितना पैसा देना है? 105. So amount to be paid on redemption per debenture is how much? 105. एक डिबेंचर होल्डर को कितना पैसा देना है? 105 रुपए देना है. We have to give one डिबेंचर होल्डर 105. कितने लोग कन्वर्जन करने वाले हैं? How many people are going to convert? How many people, how many debenture holders are going to convert? 5,500. Now please put Spruha, not 27,500. How many are going? How many will be eligible for conversion? 27,500 are people who wish to convert, but how many will they? How many are eligible? 5,500. Now please understand one important thing. This is one thing you must ask yourself in this question. हम सबको 105 रुपए एक डिबेंचर पे देने वाले हैं. Everyone is going to get 105. The only difference is 5,500 people, 5,500 debenture holders. We are not going to give them cash. We are going to give them equivalent amount of equity shares. मिलेंगे सबको 105 रुपए पर डिबेंचर, पर कुछ लोग कैश ले जाएंगे, कुछ लोग इक्विटी शेयर्स ले जाएंगे. हमें फोकस किस पे करना है? इक्विटी शेयर्स पे, क्योंकि वही हमको क्वेश्चन में पूछा है. So my amount to be paid on redemption per debenture is 105. Total redemption value of debentures eligible for conversion is how much? Ones which are eligible for conversion is how much? 5,500 into 105. So 5,500 into 105 comes to how much? 5,77,500. इन लोगों को हमको शेयर्स, इन लोगों को हमको 5,77,500 देना है, लेकिन पैसे कैश नहीं देंगे. We will give them number of shares. Okay. Now check in the question. What is the value of each equity share that is given to you? Value of one equity share given to you in the question. Rupees 15. You get rupees 15. Okay. Now again, important. You have rupees 15. This time we will think in this way. एक शेयर की कीमत 15 रुपए. ध्यान देना. One share is worth 15. I want to give 5,77,500 worth shares. How many number of shares should I give? This is number of shares. This is value. एक शेयर की कीमत है 15 रुपए. जब मुझे 5,77,500 की वैल्यू के शेयर्स देने हैं, तो मुझे कितने शेयर्स देने पड़ेंगे? नंबर ऑफ equity shares to be allotted will be 5,77,500 divided by 15. You get how much? 38,500. $38,500. Are you getting it? Simple question. ये concept आपने 12th standard में पढ़ा था. Sorry. In 12th standard in accounts, you had part 2 as accounts. Part 2 में second chapter आता था accounting for debentures. उस chapter में ये concept आपको पढ़ाया था school level पे. Same question they have asked over here. Write quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this? Quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this? Yes or no? Everyone quickly on the chat box. Akshay, Aman, Anjali, Bhavin, Dipesh, Dhara, Digesh, Harshit, Harshita, Het, Ishika, Ishita, Kajal, Khushi, Manav, Mukaddisha, Nidhi, Nikita, Om, Pawan, Pushti, Raghav, Raj, Rizwan, Rohan, Sami, Shifa, Shreyas, Simran, Spruha, Shrushti, Tulsi, and Yash. Are you all clear with this? Okay. Right, so Spruha, this question, it does pertain to AS20. You did not listen to me carefully. You are saying, I did not say the question does not pertain to AS20. It says the question does not pertain to calculating EPS. It has another angle to AS20. It is of course a question of AS20, but you do not have to calculate EPS that you traditionally calculate in every other question. Right, okay. I think this much is sufficient for today. I'll put this solution on your official WhatsApp group. That time you take it down properly. If you have any doubts, please get back to me. Now we are left out only with 3 questions in this accounting standard, that is 7, 18 and 20. So next time whenever my lecture will be there, we will cover these 3 questions. If you have any more doubts, please get back to me and I will solve your doubts. Thank you so much for attending. We will finish off AS20 the next time, and then we have 2 standards left, AS10 and AS20, and then entire syllabus is over. Right? If you have any doubts, please get back to me. Thank you so much for attending. I will now see you next week and we will finish off AS20. Do revise whatever we have done. Thank you.